Hello, good morning, Kim.
Morning, Sophie. What a wonderful day it is
It's gorgeous
today.
outside, absolutely stunning. For first week in September, we can't grumble, can we?
We can't. It's a 999 day today.
What does that mean?
9th of September.
Oh, yeah.
9th month.
Yeah.
9th year. 2025 adds up to 9, so you got 999.
9. What's the last 9?
Sorry?
What's the last 9?
Well, that's it. You got 3 9s.
Yeah, what does the last 9 come from? 9th of September.
2025.
Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, so 2025. Okay. So is that, what does that mean?
Well, it's sort of 9 is the end of something. It's sort of like an end of a time period. It's an end of something. It's also numbers of creation, really. The beginning, the end and the beginning.
Yeah, I get that. I think, well,
it's quite significant.
is it? So will anything happen today?
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know whether anything will happen today. I think the big happenings are going to be next year in January, because that's a 1, so that's the beginning of something new. We are presently in an end year. This is a year when things are ending, and we'll be going into next year. This is why we're launching the album in January rather than now, because it's a new beginning and it will be a great beginning.
Okay, that's
Very
interesting.
positive. I am immensely optimistic about the next year. I really am.
2026. Okay. Well, it's definitely going to be the year of your album.
Well, but you know, for the greater world, you know, for the planet Earth.
For planet Earth.
So I think it'll all be good for everybody.
So on that note,
Yes.
my first question, and this isn't staged or re-rehearsed, but it sort of links. There was total eclipse this week.
Yeah.
Do you believe it's linked to the supernatural, any supernatural event, something as simple as a dust storm, or do you think it's a metaphorical symbol?
Well, I mean, there are, in a sense, everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. I mean, for example, planet Earth is a spiritual being, the name of which is Gaia. Our sun is a spiritual being. Everything has a spiritual core or element to it. So if you have things happening with the sun, there's usually a reason. I mean, the sun has been, I'm talking now the spiritual sun as well as the physical sun. The sun has been very active, and it's been sending positive vibrations to planet Earth, which is helping people to awaken.
Okay. So
The energy from the sun is raising our consciousness, raising our vibration quite considerably, and that is deliberate, and that's very much a divine process, because it has been determined that this planet will no longer be controlled by external forces, but we will become a sovereign planet again, where the people on planet Earth determine what happens to the planet, rather than some external force which has been controlling this planet for many thousands of years. So that's why I'm so optimistic for 2026, because the power, or the old powers, are rapidly dying away, and the new powers are rapidly coming in. And so the sun and sunspots and sun activity is having a bearing on that. And that is all very positive.
So do you have to be religious or spiritual to receive the benefit of that, or to understand that?
That affects everybody. The waves of positive energy that are being directed at this planet now affects everybody in a positive way.
Okay.
I think the only thing I can say, there are some people, that have been around longer than others, who have had a greater opportunity to grow spiritually. That they will be at a higher vibration, okay, than those people that haven't been around so long, who haven't had the opportunities to develop spiritually. So there are on this planet different levels of spirituality among the people.
Due to their age?
Not the age of the physical body is not really relevant. It's how old their souls are.
Right, okay. So it's not their real age.
So the physical body really has very little relevance, other than it is a cloak that the spirit wears that enables us to walk on the earth plane in the physical world and have experiences which will help us to develop spiritually. That's really all it is. So how old you are, I'm quite old.
Well, yeah, you are.
Physically.
Yeah.
Compared to you. But I've been around quite a long time, so I might, in previous existences, so it depends. It depends how old your soul is. Your soul stores everything, stores all the experiences. Your soul knows everything. It's like a massive computer with a huge storage facility in it. So everything that you've ever experienced is in your soul.
But a lot of people aren't going to believe that, are they?
There will be some people that have. Everybody's got different beliefs based on what they've been exposed to. There will be some people at different. It's like school, isn't it? You go to school, you're 5. Well, I was 5 when I started school on my 5th birthday, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, at 5, I don't know a lot. By the time I get to 11, I know a lot more. By the time I get to 16, when I left school and went to college, I knew even more. So I was growing in my knowledge and my awareness of life and my awareness of the truth as I got older. And that applies spiritually to everybody on this planet. But what I will say is that on planet Earth at this time, which is a very, very important planet. In fact, I would go as far as to say that planet Earth is the most important planet in the entire universe, because it is it's an experimental planet where everything is allowed. There's no God has given us complete sovereignty, complete free will to do as we please. Obviously, there are restrictions within the cosmic law. There are, if you cause harm to somebody, then the law of karma will come in and curb your activities. But we are an experimental planet. We're actually, I think, we're the 3rd experimental planet that's happened in this universe. And everybody that is on Earth at this time is very blessed and also very brave to be here, because we are witnessing the end of a form of tyranny which has existed, a control mechanism that has existed for many thousands of years. And we've all really been living in a world of illusions. We've not really been living in a reality that we have created. We're in a reality which is not ours. It's somebody else's reality. In other words, we've been controlled very heavily by external forces. And by that I mean ETs, malevolent ETs. And I know that might be something that is hard to accept for some people. But that is the situation. But that control is now almost gone. And we are reasserting our power.
So is it gone because we've become more independent and assertive, or because those ETs have disappeared?
It's because we have our awareness, our consciousness, our vibration has risen to the point where they cannot control us anymore.
Okay.
Because they are of a low vibration. Although their technology is much more advanced than ours, their spirituality, shall we say, operates at a fairly low level. And it's a fear-based mentality, if you like. And they feed off our fear. So what they do is they've created an environment on planet Earth where people are in constant fear. They create division, they create wars, they create strife and disunity. And then they feed off that low energy. It's like a food to them. Our fear is like a food, and they feed off it. And so that has been maintained on this planet for a tremendous number of years. We're talking thousands of years that has been going on. And so we've all become conditioned, but now we are breaking through that. We are raising our vibration and becoming aware of the truth of our own reality. The truth of that reality is that we have been under the control of an external force, but we are now rising above that, and our power is increasing, and their power is diminishing. If you imagine a line, let's draw a line here, okay. Now, before, and that line that's the line of fear. Above that line is love, okay. So the human race has been kept under that line of fear so that they could control us, and they could steal our energy, feed off our energy. They could steal our wealth, which gives them power. Our money system is controlled by these people. The banking system is controlled by these people. So we can, as long as that situation arises, they have control. But as our consciousness has risen and people are starting to wake up, we've broken through that line into the line of love. The love consciousness, what comes from the heart. And they can't control us there.
So
they can't reach us.
You strongly believe there's life on other planets?
Oh yes. I mean, I cannot, to be honest with you, Sophie, I cannot get my head around the idea that there are billions of planets, and that this is not the only universe. There are other universes. The infinity of God's creation is just beyond my capability to understand. But let's sort of come back a bit and say, well, okay, we live in a solar system, there are planets, we've got our own sun. But that is only that's a speck. It's a speck of sand in the totality of existence. And that's difficult for the human mind to imagine or to comprehend, to digest.
But I guess a lot of us would look for evidence, wouldn't we? It's not as though, we can get on a plane and go there. It's not as though we can research it ourselves. So it would be a little bit hard for people to comprehend.
Okay, let's look at that. Now, a lot of people have pets. Dogs is a very common one. Now, a dog has amazing hearing, has an amazing sense of smell. It can smell things that we can't smell. But we can't see the smell that they can smell. A dog has amazing hearing. They can hear much higher frequencies than the human ear. We can't experience that, but we know it exists because we have the technology that can measure these things. So imagine if you take this table, put it under an electron microscope, and you'll be able to see the movement of the various components of this table, the atomic movement of the items moving around. And that table, although you look at it and it's solid, it's not solid. It's got lots of bits moving around. But we can't see it. So just because we can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't smell it, doesn't mean to say it doesn't exist. And that really is, you know, when we talk about spirituality is, for most people, and I'm not going to say for all people, but for most people, it is beyond our senses. But it's not beyond our intuition. Because we might, you know, I don't know if you've ever walked into a room and it's in a house and it's felt cold. Whereas if you go into another room, it's not cold. Now what that could mean is that there is a spirit in that room, or a ghost has been in that room. So you can feel it, but you can't see it. You can't prove it. You can't prove it, but you have an intuition which says there's something not quite right here.
Yeah, I understand.
So we all have that power. I think if we look back into time, if we look back at the example that Jesus set, he did things that were really incredible. I mean, let's look at the miracles. I mean, it's a good example. The one that's impressed me the most was the bread and the fishes. You know, he was able, because his spirit, his level of vibration was about 50 times higher than everybody else's. He was able to manifest enough food from those 2 fishes and 5 loaves to feed 5,000 people. Just like that. He was able to turn water into wine. He was able even to raise somebody that had been dead for 4 days, Lazarus. He was able to walk on water by increasing his personal vibration to a level that he became almost ghost-like and appeared to be walking on water. Now, everything that Jesus did, we can do. And he said that. It's in the Bible.
But no one's been able to do that, have they?
Well, because we, on this planet, there are people that have ascended, become ascended masters. You could go back 100 years and there's quite a few that have actually ascended. But they're not generally known beyond spiritual circles.
So what's the use of it? We can't... In Jesus' time, people tapped into Jesus and took advantage, if you like, of his powers, for example. So if they still exist now, we're not tapping into it, are we?
We are raising our vibration. It's got a long way to go.
Okay.
I mean, if you go back a year, this planet was in what we would call the 3rd dimension. We are now moving through the 4th and into the 5th. So there's a big jump there. By the time we get into the 5th dimension, everything on this planet, everybody's perception is going to change big time.
And when will that be?
Right. we create our own reality. So if you start saying to yourself, I want to live in a golden age economy where there is the abundant life, where there is no poverty, where everybody is being kind to each other, where there are no wars, where we treat the planet with the greatest of respect because it was designed to look after us. Once we have that attitude of mind, the golden age exists, and our vibration will have risen to a very high level very quickly. So ask me when. That's when. If the majority of people start thinking that way, we're in the golden age, but we could be in the golden age today. If everybody's thinking and feeling changed to that level, it could happen right now.
So we're relying on the power of ourselves to get there.
Absolutely. This album that will be releasing in January, in a 1 year. One is a beginning.
Awaken, we are gods.
Awaken, we are gods. So you can see where I'm coming from with this now, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, the more podcasts and recordings we do, for me anyhow, the more it makes sense. Because I know we've talked about it a lot, but I guess I'm learning, and it is sort of making sense to me, which is unusual for me.
Oh, but you're a psychologist.
I know.
You've had. So you're halfway there. You're halfway there already.
I should know it all, but I don't. Okay, I do get it. I do, because I've definitely become more spiritual. I say that laughing. But it is sometimes hard for me to get it. But then there's times when I absolutely, genuinely get it. And it just makes sense to me. I can't believe I'm saying this. No, I can't, because if you knew me, perhaps in the last 10 years or the last, big chunk of my life, never would have said it. But I've sort of stepped out and done my own thinking, which has led me to sort of understand things differently. So I do get it, but then there's still so much that I challenge about it.
Well, can I give you an invitation? The invitation to you is as follows. Whatever you can't get your head around, throw at me, and I'll see if I can sort it out for you.
Yeah, and thank you for the invitation. I think for me, and I don't mean that sort of jokingly, but for me it's definitely a work in progress. It's definitely it's good, but it's a slow progress. But when the penny drops, it really does drop for me.
I think it does for everybody. There was a point when it dropped for me, and suddenly I could see everything.
Yeah.
I reached a threshold, and suddenly everything made sense.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So, once upon a time, I probably thought you were crazy.
Most people still do.
And I'm starting to, think that you're less crazy. Sorry. But no, I'm saying that very jokingly. It's, the good thing about having this recorded is that people have got the opportunity to listen or watch it back, and then go out of their way to do their own little bit of researching, or ask others, or read the Bible, and then come back and re-watch this again. I know that's the sort of thing that I would find useful. And also it's a really great insight into you, into who you are, because who you are brought us the music, brought us the lyrics, brought us that is bringing us the album. And hopefully that's why people are watching you, because they want to know more about the album and more about you, like they would with any artist. I definitely, if I think of some of my, the artists that I adore, that's what I've done. So hopefully people will do that with you.
Well, I think the music operates at an emotional level. Yeah. And our emotions are incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. All our emotions are incredibly powerful.
For the good and the bad. So I think that, we could talk. I could talk the hind legs off a donkey, to use the phrase. But if there's music to go with it,
absolutely,
that reaches people out. Yeah. So if I start talking about love, and we've got a wonderful love song.
Yeah.
That becomes more powerful.
And a lot of people relate to music, whether you're young or old, whether it's Frank Sinatra or Kanye West, a lot of people relate to music. A lot of people have their song, their wedding song, funeral songs when, you pick your own artists. It's because it has a personal meaning, and the lyrics have a personal meaning. And I know from our previous conversations, pretty much all of your songs, which are written by you, have a very personal meaning, which...
Personal, yes, because, we write about the things that we know, we write about the things that we've experienced, and all artists do that. But it goes, hopefully it goes beyond my experience. So any experiences that I've had that other people haven't had, they might get some extra value from that, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will or do in general, music. If I think of my mom who's 90, she loves certain sorts of music, and she gets whatever she needs from it. So it'll be very similar to me, my children, and you.
But it goes across language barriers. Yeah.
It is a language in itself, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for talking to me about some obviously personal details and some things, and I hope people enjoy it.
Thank you.